Welcome to HFY Stories. Please subscribe to the channel. Your one click means the world to me. 9 seconds of silence told Maya everything. She thumbed the comm twice more, got nothing but a dead click, and understood with total clarity that the enemy was already inside the walls. That realization would come at the end of a very long day, one that started 6 hours earlier in a classroom she'd been trying to sleep through. Captain Vex 9 had run combat theory at the Galactic Military Academy for 27 years and had never once split a cohort the way he split this one. 43 cadets, 17 species, and in the back corner, a human named Maya Tors with her boots up and her attention somewhere else entirely. She'd sat through this material twice already and could have taught half of it herself. Today's exercise is simple, Vex 9 told them, gesturing toward the arena beyond the classroom wall. 4-person teams. Hold the center platform for 10 minutes. The roster assembled itself in light above his desk. Team after team of 4 names, until one line stood alone. Team Delta, Tors. The room went quiet enough to hear the ventilation hum. "There's an error," said a Thorian cadet near the front. "No error," Vex 9 said. "Cadet Tors will compete as a team of 1. Consider it instructive." Nobody believed for a second that Maya had volunteered for this. The faculty had grown tired of watching her coast, and they'd built her a wall to hit. Maya just stood, joints popping in the tense hush, and asked when they'd start. She geared up plain, standard suit, one rifle, nothing exotic, while 11 other cadets loaded up on shield generators and mobility harnesses and long-range plasma cannons, already dividing the arena in their heads. When the countdown ended, she simply wasn't where she'd been standing. The first team to reach the platform anchored down and started building a wall of firepower. It was good, disciplined, exactly what the manuals promised. It also meant nothing, because the fight wasn't happening at the platform yet. It was happening in the gaps between explosions that seemed to come from everywhere, except where anyone was looking. A flash from one flank dropped a cadet before his team had even registered a threat. A second flash, from a spot that should have taken 30 seconds to reach on foot, took another. "She's not fighting like an army," one of the surviving cadets said, backing into a defensive crouch. "She's fighting like something that's been hunted its whole life." Maya's voice answered from nowhere in particular. "Funny you should say that. Humans have been doing this for about 10,000 years." By the time the second team broke and tried to withdraw, she was already above them, dropping from a maintenance strut into a combat role that put 2 more cadets out before their boots hit the ground behind her. She never stayed still long enough to be a target, never took the same route twice, and struck each new team exactly where their formation trusted its safety. That left the platform holders, the ones who'd done everything right, who'd stayed put and stacked their firepower and waited for her to come to them. "She has to come here eventually," their leader insisted, watching 10 teammates vanish off the field one by one. Then she did. She simply appeared at the platform's edge, rifle slung, standing in plain sight of 4 loaded weapons. "Elimination counts as a win too," Vex 9's voice reminded them over the arena speakers. "Not just the hold." Her opponent's leader brought his weapon up anyway, because pointing and firing at an unarmed-looking target 30 feet away should have been the easiest shot of his life. It wasn't. Maya crossed that distance faster than his eyes could track, and in the scramble that followed, 3 more cadets went down in the time it took to draw a breath. When it was over, one Thorian stood alone on the platform across from her. "This is awkward," he said, mandibles clicking with something like resignation. "You all fought exactly the way you were trained," Maya said, settling into the platform's center to start her clock. "Manuals written by people who never had to outrun a pack of something with teeth. Where I grew up, if you fight fair, you usually don't get to fight twice." He studied her with something new in his expression, not fear exactly, more like recalculation. "Your world sounds hostile." "It's got great beaches," she grinned, "and it teaches you that predictable gets you killed." When the debrief came, 42 cadets waited to hear how one girl had dismantled 3 full teams in under 8 minutes. She gave them 4 rules. Don't fight fair when outnumbered. Mobility and surprise beat armor and firepower in that order. And expect your enemy to fight exactly the way they were drilled to fight, because that's the one thing you can count on. And rule 4, the Thurian asked. Her smile went sharp. Never underestimate the crazy monkey from the death world. Nobody in that room said anything for a long time. The instructors argued about it in the lounge the next morning, whether Vex 9 had rigged the odds on purpose, whether it had been cruel or necessary, until Admiral Corex 7's image cut through the debate with news that made the argument irrelevant. An unidentified ship was inbound, pirate configuration, 18 hours out. A fine opportunity, the Admiral said, for realistic training, which was how Maya ended up on Perimeter Defense Team 7 that night, alongside an engineer with a gift for improvised explosives, a colonist who'd grown up fighting Sky Raiders, a warrior who perceived time sideways from everyone else, and 5 others who'd all volunteered for what the roster politely called advanced field training. 15 to 20 raiders, their lieutenant briefed them. Standard gear. They'll hit fast and hit predictable. Pirates don't run complicated plans. Maya wasn't so sure. 15 attackers against an academy's full defenses was a number that didn't add up, and while everyone else double-checked their weapons, she was busy stripping hers down, pulling the smart targeting systems, cutting the automated assists, leaving herself with something almost embarrassingly simple. "You're making it worse," her engineer teammate said. "I'm making it mine," she answered. "Fancy systems fail first when things get chaotic. Simple things don't." The ship didn't attack. It sat outside the perimeter for hours, watching, and that patience was the first sign nobody wanted to hear. These weren't raiders looking for a quick score. They were professionals, mapping the defense before they ever fired a shot. The waiting stretched long enough that even the veterans on the team started second-guessing the calm, checking charge packs that were already full, retracing exits they already knew. Then the comms went dead, in every hand at once. Which brings the story back to where it started, Maya thumbing a silent channel, understanding in one cold breath that whoever was coming was already past the wall. The first blast came from deep inside the perimeter, not outside it. The second gutted the main power grid. By the time a third explosion rolled out of the direction of the armory, the shape of the operation was obvious. This wasn't a raid for hostages. It was a heist, and heists ended in bodies once the getaway got hard. "New plan," Maya said, and something in her voice made everyone listen without arguing. "We stop waiting to be found. We go find them." What she built over the next hour had no name in any tactical manual. Jammed weapons in the hands of the first intruders. Doors sealing at exactly the wrong moment. Lighting cycling in patterns that made hardened operators dizzy and sick. Com channels that should have carried orders instead played funeral dirges at full volume. By the time the third pirate squad reached the interior, the survivors of the first 2 were already muttering about a haunted building, about machines that hated them personally. "This is more than improvising," her time-displaced teammate said, watching her rework a control panel with the calm of someone rearranging furniture. "This is home," she said simply. "We've had 10,000 years of practice making impossible fights survivable." The raiders' last stand happened in the main assembly hall, 12 of them, crates of stolen hardware at their backs, an escape route that no longer worked thanks to a building that had turned against them. Their leader was trying to talk to command through a comm unit that kept broadcasting lullabies instead of his threats. Maya walked into the open with her hands empty. A cadet. The leader's disbelief was plain on a face that had seen worse fights than this one. "This is what we're up against." "And you're trespassing," she said, "which makes tonight a teaching moment. You're outnumbered 12 to 1. Around the hall, 8 more weapons rose out of cover, aimed and steady. "Correction," Maya said. "You're outnumbered 9 to 12. Details. Here's the offer, weapons down, crates back where they belong, and you get to tell people you lost a fight to a bunch of students. Or we keep being creative, and creatives already cost you 3 teams tonight. The leader looked at his jammed rifle, his dead comm, the crates he couldn't move and the exits he couldn't reach, and set his weapon on the floor. One by one, the others followed, the sound of metal on tile the loudest thing in the hall. It took until well past dawn for security to finish processing the captured raiders, log the recovered crates, and clear every corridor Maya had turned against them. In the medical bay, Dr. Helix Prime ran her scans and found nothing worth noting. No elevated stress markers, no adrenaline crash, just a tired girl sitting on an exam table while machines confirmed what the doctor already suspected. You've rewritten this academy's idea of a fight twice in 2 days, Helix Prime said. Maya just shrugged and glanced through the transparent wall at her teammates, all of them animated, all of them alive, all of them talking over each other about a night none of the manuals had prepared them for. The engineer was already sketching the wiring trick on a data pad for the instructors crowding around him. They'll want a full report, Helix Prime added. Every system you rerouted, every door you sealed. Command doesn't like not understanding how a fight was won. Tell them it wasn't complicated, Maya said. It just wasn't fair. That's the part they keep missing. Outside in the corridor, a maintenance tech was carefully working loose a length of wire spliced into a light panel 2 nights before. The same simple trick that had first turned a hallway strobe into a weapon. He held it up to the light, turning it over like a puzzle piece from a machine nobody had built, and called over a colleague to look. Maya watched them from the doorway a moment, already thinking about breakfast, already certain there'd be a use for that same length of wire before the week was out.